everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and I am here to talk about the new character. It is a green attacker unit, and it is part of the Shadow Festival and the anniversary. This is Awakening Our Shadow. And before I even get into this character, I have an update for the anniversary in regards to the tickets, because in my anniversary video, I didn't know where you could get these tickets, and I did find the answer to that. So to get these tickets, you actually have to pay for them both using paid gems. So very, very unfortunate, but the first one is to, if you want the event SS ticket, you're gonna have to get this deluxe pack, and this is 10,000 paid gems, so we're talking like roughly, like, it's gonna be a lot of money. But if we compare like other packs in this game, like, you don't have anything that's guaranteed. It's just based all off of luck. So if we're putting that into the equation, I'd say the pack is technically worth it, but otherwise, I mean, it really isn't. This is more of a pack that's kind of worth it, but this isn't guaranteed either. It's just for 10 Power Pole tickets. Now, that's the only way you can get the Power Pole tickets, is through the shop. And then for the event SS tickets, that's the only way to get that ticket, is through the shop, as I currently know, to my knowledge, unless they're going to give out some random reward at the end of it. Now, to get these epic SS exchange tickets, what you're going to have to do for that is you're actually going to have to go to the summon, and that's where this banner comes into play. The epic summon for the first anniversary. Unfortunately, this is a paid banner as well. You have to use paid gems, but I mean, you are guaranteed an SS exchange after you use the paid gems. So, in the other video I stated which characters are kind of worth it to get, so I don't need to go over that again, but like, it's pretty much after you do that summon, you're going to be able to get one of these characters guaranteed with the exchange. So that's it for the tickets. Very unfortunate, unless they're able to get something in the gift box or some sort of event rewards. Who knows? I wouldn't stay too hopeful for it though. But anyway, let's get into the character here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do for the Awakening Our Shadow character is I'm going to go through the stats, the base stats. I always like to do this. So you can pause if you need to. Here's power through healing. Here is healing through overheal. And lastly, here is the grouping if you need it there. Alright. Now for the fun part of the video, I'm actually going to be going over his abilities, and boy does he have quite the set of abilities here. So I'm going to go over this skill first, because it's going to make a lot more sense going over the others. So his Awakening Hour ability, when Hidden Technique is activated, you recover your own SP by 1,000, and it's basically using that bar as like a meter, and when that meter runs out, so it's going to decrease by 70 per second, and you're entering Unleashed mode in that whole meter until your SP becomes 0. Then you got to build your Hidden Technique back up again. But let's just go over what the Hidden Technique does. So for the Atomic Recovery, you are recovering HP of all allies by 200% of the attack. Now this Hidden Technique on a green attacking unit is just so crucial. I mean, at this point, you probably don't even need a healer. You could just have a set of 4 attackers and just have him be your attacking unit and a healing unit. Now, that in itself is just mind-boggling. On top of the HP that he's doing and giving out, he's also raising the SP boost rate of all green elemental allies except himself by 65 for 25 seconds. Just half a minute. Half the round, basically half the round, is that SP boost, getting everybody to get their hidden techniques out and churning out more skills. That's super good. That's like, again, it's a 2-in-1 for the healing. it's a healing and SP boost. A 2-in-1 hidden technique is just really good on any character. Now we'll go into the other skills he has. So we're gonna go over the base form of them first, and then we're gonna go into the fun stuff, the Unleashed. So even in the base form, it's pretty good. So what he's doing in base form for Shadow Grace is he's shielding damage of the first ally in line, likely the tank, for 15 seconds. And then he's further raising the defense by 20% for 15 seconds if it is a 7 Shadows character. Now, if we're just basing it off the regular character pool, there's only one character that really applies, if for the first one in line for a tank, and that is Waiting for Boss Delta. Everybody should have this character unlocked, unless you just haven't done that many summons. You will get her fairly quick. If you don't, you'd have to be a pretty beginner or not pulling at all. But either way, that's kind of what it applies for. But that skill is pretty good, so it's mainly the shield that is creating for the first ally in line that's really good. Now if we go over to Shadow Punishment, you are raising the damage received for a single enemy by 20% for 10 seconds. So you're giving him a debuff, which is really good. And then it further inflicts 400 damage. So this is not your run-of-the-mill, just standard attack for 400. You're also raising the damage received, which is good too. Now, let's talk about the fun stuff, the Unleashed. And these two skills benefit from the Unleashed. And what that does is, while it's Unleashed, with the shield move, you're actually doing 100% instead of 300, but it's on all allies for 15 seconds. You're creating a shield for everybody. This is super, super good for like bosses and questing, so that your mid-row or anybody in that row just doesn't die, and just keeping your party alive overall. So he does a great job of that. So the shield skill in general is just really good, but then on top of that, he gets another one. He gets another buff that he's creating to the party, and that's raising his own attack by 30% for 15 seconds. Now that is just huge, especially when you're going to be pairing it with this other move, Shadow Punishment. Now while you're Unleashed in Shadow Punishment, you are doing 1,000 damage on a single enemy, and then you're inflicting 500 damage on all enemies. That is pretty much a hidden technique in itself, and you're going to be using this move probably multiple times. So that's like multiple hidden techniques in this Unleashed, mode. It's just so broken. I mean, we're talking like you have 1,000 SP to work with. I mean, it's getting lowered by 70 per second, but it's also being lowered by these skills, and when these skills are whipped out, it's just creating a massive amount of damage, creating a shield, raising your own attack, debuffing an enemy as well on top of that. I mean, getting this character is a no-brainer. So, like, that big question, should I pull for Awakening Hour Shadow? My answer would be yes, yes, and yes. Especially since green units are kind of like lacking. I would definitely pull for Awakening Hour Shadow. He is definitely one of the better green units, and coming from Shadow Festival, he is definitely worth pulling. I went as far as to pity pull him, so I did 20 multis on free gems, and I got him. This character is definitely worth it. There's so much potential in it. Just having that Unleash mode, you're healing your party as a green attacker, so you don't even need a healer. So this character is pretty much having two characters merged into one. So good. I would definitely pull this unit. Alright, so the last thing I didn't go over was the Awakened stuff for him. So for the Awakening Hour, it's just 60 instead of 70, which isn't too significant of a change. And then for the Shadow Punishment, it is actually 600, and it is 1,500% damage on a single enemy. So that's even that is definitely more devastating. So you're gonna want to see this in the roadmap for sure. And then Shadow Grace is 500% on the skill, and it's 150 for all allies, and it's raising attack by 50%, which is really good. So, and then the atomic recovery is going to be even better when it is awakened. So it raises your own overheal by 50% permanent. Just having this overheal is great, and it'll keep that unit from dying. Yeah, so raising your own overheal will prevent you from dying, and it'll recover the same amount, and then it will boost it by 75% for 30 seconds instead of that 25, so the definite half of a minute there. But the biggest part of this awakening is the overheal. So yeah, he becomes even more of a menace when you have him awakened. So I'm going to go over the last part here in his awakening roadmap. So you actually get one of his best skills, Shadow Punishment, right away at A1. So just having him at A1 is really good on its own. And then he gets Shadow Grace on the A2. So two of his skills that go unleashed get awakened first on this roadmap. So his roadmap is looking really good. And then Gear Slot on the A3, Awakening Hour on the A4, and then of course putting his Hidden Technique at A5 just to get you to grind it out is one of his best as well, especially with that 50% overheal. So that's kind of what his awakening roadmap looks like. Just having him A1 and A2 is just going to make him a beast on its own. He's already a good unit regardless of awakening, but just having that A1, A2 is really good. So that's about it. Vigo, signing off.